Hey guys, Hackexploit here, back again with another video. Just wanted to make a little quick tutorial on how to set up name servers on Linux manually and permanently. The reason I'm making this video is because I've been getting a lot of comments and direct emails from students and many viewers from my proxy chains and DNS videos where I actually used the etc resolve.configuration file to change the name servers. And of course, a lot has changed since I recorded that video. In my case, the system that I was using, the resolve.conf file was actually static, as you know, and then with the advent of systemd and the adoption of systemv, you know that is now automatically generated and controlled by the network manager service under systemd. All right, so given that that file is now automatically generated, there's a lot of you have been asking me, because the file gets overwritten every time you reboot, how to set up the custom name servers manually. So I'm currently running Kali Linux because most of the students who are asking these questions are using Kali Linux, but this will work on any Linux distribution that you're using. All right, so let's get started. I'm just going to run you through a few scenarios that you can actually use or set up if you actually want to use custom name servers. So first of all, the easiest way of doing this is to set up your custom name servers in your router or your access point. Now this is much better because all devices on your network will actually be using those name server settings as opposed to setting them up manually. Now of course, if you're running your network in an or you're trying to do this on an enterprise network and you have custom name servers that you actually want to point various computers to, that could be useful, or this video could be useful there. So you can do that through your router, but many of you have actually pointed out that your ISPs have locked your router or have locked the administration panel, and you're not able to do that manually. So you actually want to use you want to set them manually on your various systems or hosts, in this case Kali Linux. All right, so if I just display my resolve.conf file, you can see that it tells me that this is being generated by the network manager. That's of course systemd, and it points the name server to my access point or my router by default. In my case, I already have my my access point customized to point to custom name servers like Cloudflare and a few others that I've set up personally. And in this particular case, there are various ways of handling it. Now, if you're running this, if you're running your operating system with a graphical user interface, like for example XFCE on Kali, as I'm doing right now, it usually comes with a network manager applet. All right, so if I click on the network manager applet right over here, I can go to edit connection details, and it'll now display all my connections based on their type. So we have Ethernet, and then we have various types of connections on the Ethernet, and then we have the wireless network. So in my case, I want to click on wired connection 1, and I can click on the cog there, and it's going to open up the settings regarding the connectivity and various options regarding IPv4 and IPv6. We're mostly concerned with IPv4, so we're going to click on that, and then you can see right over here, I'm currently using DHCP. I'm using DHCP to assign IP addresses. That's perfectly fine with me. And then of course, I specify the additional DNS servers here. All right, now this can also be changed within the interfaces file under the etc directory, which I'll show you in a second. So you can paste in or add in your custom DNS servers here. Please ensure that you add a primary, secondary, and a third name server in case one of them fails, because that's how it actually goes through them. So in my case, I'm not doing it through the network manager applet. The reason I'm making this video is to show you how to do it manually in the event you don't have a network manager applet. So as you read from the title of the video, we're going to be using resolvconf. Now the reason we're using we're using resolvconf. The reason we're using resolvconf is to easily set them manually, and it offers us a better way of managing the service, and it'll actually be quite simple to set up the various name servers that you want. So what we can do first is we can actually install the resolvconf service. It usually does not come pre-installed on Debian. I'm not really sure, but you guys can actually try it out. I'm currently running this on Kali, so I'll say apt install, and we'll say resolvconf, right? And I'm gonna hit enter, and yeah, I don't have it installed, so that's a good thing. And it should automatically detect that we're running systemd and create the symlink. There we are. So you can see it creates the symlink for the service. So we do need to enable the service to make sure it runs on startup and then we need to start it because we're actually going to use it right now. So we're going to let that process here. I'm just going to open up my terminal like so you guys can read. All right, so now that we have it installed, we can say system systemctl, and we're going to say enable resolvconf.service, and that's going to enable the service. So we're now going to say start it, and let's check the status now to see if it's loaded and running. All right, so you can see it's loaded and running. Excellent. So now again, if we check our resolve.conf file, you can now see that the dynamic resolve.conf file is generated by resolvconf. That's exactly what we want. So you can see the name server still points to 192.168.1.1, which is my gateway. So what I want to do now is I want to edit the base file under resolvconf. So that's under resolvconf here, and we're looking for resolvconf.d, and we're looking for the base configuration file. We will put in our name server. So it's a name server 1.1.1.1, which is Cloudflare server, and I'll put in Google. By the way, don't recommend using the Google name servers. And I'm going to say name server, and we'll put in the secondary Google one. The only reason I'm doing this is to demonstrate a point here, and I'm going to write and save those changes. So now I'm going to say system control, and I'll say restart resolvconf.service, and I'm also going to restart my network manager just to make sure the changes have been logged. So if I display the contents of resolve.conf here, you can see that right now the primary name server is still pointing to 192.168.1.1, even though we've provided 3 within the base, which is totally fine. So to modify this, we want to go into Vim, and you can use any other text editor. So when we go Vim etc network, and you want to modify the interfaces, and this is where we can actually manually configure DNS name servers. So we want to go all the way to the bottom here. Yours might be different depending on your configuration, and we want to put in our DNS name servers here. So you say DNS name servers 1.1.1.1, 8.8, and we say 8.8.4.4, and we want to write and save that. And again, we're going to restart the network manager, and we're going to restart the resolvconf service here. And now if we check resolve.conf, that should point towards those name servers. If the changes have still not yet been logged, let me just reboot the system. So sudo reboot f. I don't know why I use sudo there. I'm currently using the root user, so we'll just wait for this to reboot, and we can actually check whether the changes have been set. And you can see that they will be logged, or they will be active exactly as we set them, even after you reboot your system, which is great. All right, so again, we'll just say cat etc resolve.conf, and we hit enter, and now you can see that they are pointing to the name servers that we set, and this is now manually and permanently set. Again, it's not recommended that you do this if you do it this way unless you have specific settings, or you're connecting to a specific DNS name server, and you have a custom configuration. But that's besides the point. I hope this video answers your question. There will be a detailed write-up of this video on our main website, hackersploit.org, so you can follow along there if you have any issues. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, suggestions, feedback, let me know in the comment section or on my social networks, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace, guys.